Jeff Bezos came, Bill Gates came, Mark Zuckerberg came. Many of them came numerous times. The bankers have all come. Everybody's coming.
So please excuse my sarcastic tone. I'm a bit underwhelmed by the sample shown. Mr. Piss-Drunk Fraternity Guy, you got my asshole bloodshot eyes. Get drunk and fight every night. Idolize Bradley, belittle women's rights. Homophobic, racist, and don't give a fucking hey. Do you think you can drive a bigger truck? So wear your baseball cap to the side to let everyone know that you're a nice guy. So cool, we're so impressed. Lots of chicks in a barrel chest. Cause you're a real man. Punch for punch, gonna piss in your face while you're passed out drunk. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. He's a nice guy, but all of you are assholes. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. She's a nice guy, but all of you are assholes. Nice guys rule the planet. Oh, I just can't understand it. Conquer divine by deception and lies. Social Darwinism and an overdose of pride. Fuck off, jerk off. I don't wanna hear it. Fuck off, jerk off. Read into the lyrics, cause everybody gets their just desserts. As long as you remember that nice guys finished first. You're next on the list. Such a nice guy who speaks through his fists. Prick with a penchant for messing with heads. A broken nose for dinner and breakfast in bed. Alcoholic, paranoid, and suicidal too. But you'll probably kill her before she gets away from you. She rolls in a pool of blood and cry. All your friends say that you're a nice guy. Have a drink, this one's on me. Look, you're doing fine, losing to your disease. Comatose, I'll pack your bags. Bury you in my cat's and gag. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. We're all nice guys, but all of you are assholes. He's a nice guy, she's a nice guy. Hey, Tom Bone's a nice guy. All of you are assholes. Nice guys rule the planet. The public demented. Put a body by deception and lies. Social Darwinism and an overdose of pride. Fuck off, jerk off. I don't wanna hear it. Fuck off, jerk off. Read into the lyrics. So let the parties will quench your thirst. As long as you remember that nice guys finish first.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Plex. We do the show live every Sunday except for tonight because it's Monday, but we do it usually on Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/Echoplex Media. If you're listening on this podcast, whatever podcast app you use, come check out a live show sometime. We're live several nights a week and sometimes even in the morning for the Shasta County Board of Supervisors on Tuesday. You can support this project at patreon.com/Echoplex or even better at eplex.store. $5 a month or higher gets you the entire show, including red light for this and down ballot sent directly to your inbox. You also get early access to stuff like the Cast of Characters series, which I'm a little bogged down on right now because the subject matter of Hamburglar Dan Badandi is a long timeline. Anyway, I'm producer Dave. You can find me on Blue Sky, getting added to everybody's fucking autobahn list, I guess. And this is what the people want.
I don't hate the cops. There's a person inside when the truncheon stops. Oh, don't hate the cops. Oh, when the raiders come, who will protect the shops? Don't hate the cops. They're a sensitive bunch if you don't stop throwing your rocks. Snap, crackle, pop is the sound of a taser. Your body drops. Don't hate the cops. Oh, don't hate the cops. Don't hate the cops. Oh, don't hate the cops. Like your local police, 'cause they don't do nothing wrong like your local police. Got rid of the corruption and the racism is gone. They've been keeping the peace, keeping homeless folks out of the parks and malls. Got a cure for your social disease. Follow the law, don't hate the cops. 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 Put your hands above your head and show you're not afraid. I'm the fairest judge that your skin color's gonna get. And if you die before the sun comes up, the paperwork will take forever. Well, it might have worked out a little bit better if you didn't hate the cops. 'Cause they don't do nothing wrong. Don't hate the cops. You can't blame them for just doing their job. Don't hate the cops. Well, you gotta wonder, how much would it cost for you to be shot at and stabbed at by maniacs and drunks? Don't hate the cops. 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 Don't hate the cops.
All right, sometimes somebody puts something in the Discord and I'm just not sure what to do with it, so I put it first. And this is happening with this story this week. This is out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, which I hear is actually a pretty fucking crazy place. Check this out.
Pretty surprising, pretty shocking, because there's a lot of dogs and there's a lot of kids, and so it'd be scary to think like, oh, one of them got out and like it bit a kid or something.
So there's the movie Snakes on a Plane and our new reality Snakes on a Raid. And I'm told that there's video of this story next to me, but I'm not going to look because I would like to sleep tonight.
That's probably a good idea, Tessa. Listen, federal officials came across this site right here. 60 snakes, 52 of them highly venomous, during a raid at a South Valley home last week. And the thing is, the raid, it wasn't even about the snakes.
KOB4's Blake Trolley went to the neighborhood and talked to people who live near the home in question. So, Blake, what'd you find out?
Well, one thing, Tessa, is you're probably in a good spot not watching that video, but you are going to see it here in a second. We obtained body cam footage of these snakes being removed. This house could have definitely used a swimming pool full of antivenom. Just wait until you see this list of snakes that was found at this home.
You are looking at video of New Mexico wildlife officers removing snakes from a home during a federal drug raid. Cobras, pit vipers, and mambas were part of the lineup of snakes recovered from a home in South Valley as federal police and other agencies moved in on the home of a suspected drug dealer.
Oh, yeah.
One black king cobra was in a black trash can. So was a green mamba snake. This neighbor says there were signs she was living near a reptile collection.
Every trash day that they would take out the trash, I guess the wind would sometimes open lids or push trash that was stuck in between things, and we see snake skin just fly out.
Court papers showed federal agents plan to arrest the man living at the home on the 15th during a cocaine deal. The man is accused of selling cocaine to an undercover agent on multiple occasions before the arrest. The house was raided on the 22nd. Court papers show police recovered a half a pound of cocaine, guns, and 60 exotic snakes. Daniel Robles says he saw the raid.
After a while, you could see some big van came in back and forth every hour or so, gaining like a whole like truck's worth of cages, and then they keep coming back and forth, and they were at it all night.
Manager of Predator and Prey reptile store Dayton Kaczynskius was blown away by the list of snakes.
We're talking about snakes here.
Including one species in particular, the inland taipan.
It's one of the craziest bites. They're a little shy, but if they bite you, you're pretty much gone.
Kaczynskius estimates feeding the snakes could cost up to $600 per week. He also says some of the snakes can sell for up to $20,000 on the black market.
Now, we did reach out to the U.S. Attorney to see if charges have been filed on either the drugs or the snakes. The Attorney's Office, the U.S. Attorney's Office, is declining to comment. It should be noted that owning venomous snakes is illegal here in New Mexico, and there's also federal charges for trafficking venomous snakes. Reporting in Albuquerque, Blake Trolley, KOB4.
I feel like we should be charged just for showing all the video of the snakes there. I'm sorry, folks, if you have a fear like I do. Blake, thanks so much. So this, of course, made us think about all the other times we found illegal exotic animals in our state. Like in 2023, remember Duke, the 20-pound tiger cub? He was found at a home in the International District after a shooting. Duke was smuggled to New Mexico from Mexico. The year before, New Mexico Game and Fish and APD were following up on a tip about another illegal tiger at an Old Town home. They didn't find the tiger, but they did stumble upon an alligator.
What the fuck?
Guns and cash. The alligator was sent to live at the Albuquerque Biopark.
I wonder if that guy was like feeding the snakes cocaine. I don't know, man. I've heard like several people talk about how Albuquerque, New Mexico specifically is like one of the most underrated, insane places in the country. And so I don't know. Do people have a lot of snakes in Albuquerque? Probably not. That dude had a lot of cocaine though. Like a lot of cocaine. Like a half pound is like a lot of cocaine. I would not want to be that guy's neighbor because he'd probably want to share his cocaine with me, and then I would be a cokehead. Anyway, we're going to move on. This is the news part of the regular news part of the show or whatever. Did you know that there is a communist takeover of the United States of America? As we'll find out on Fox Business.
Different. I mean, the bond market is spiking yields, and I'm just wondering if the bond market is telling us something different here. What would be your biggest economic risk if you had to look at one risk for the rest of 2026? Is it inflation? Is it labor shortages? Is it deficits? Is it the Senate not getting the president's agenda across the finish line? What would it be, Kevin, in terms of the biggest risk to continued economic growth from your standpoint?
You know, I think the biggest risk facing the U.S. economy right now is that these socialist/communist Democrats actually have a big victory and can start to have their policies be pursued by local governments and even perhaps the federal government, because they really are looking at kind of a communist takeover of America. And if markets start to think that those people are going to be successful, then there's going to be a lot of pain in markets. And so I think that's the biggest risk right now.
Well, I think that's
all right, dude. Like, I don't know, man. We got the federal government sort of in an unprecedented way owning, for example, 10% of Intel, which is crazy. If something like the government owning 10% of Intel is seen as a problem by the people he's calling communists, which is a little bit weird to me, actually, that you'd think that the government being the owner of a business. Anyway, I don't want to. I'm just saying that, like, if the market tanks or whatever because the government were to, for example, divest from companies that Trump did a certainly corrupt deal to get the government to own part of. Well, I don't know, man. That's a fucking, you play stupid games, you make stupid prizes. But also, like, this isn't a communist takeover. It's just people that want health care. They just want health care, man. This is literally just the same thing. There's people just want fucking health care, dude. Here's Stephen Miller on Sean Hannity. They're dressing like Mao. I don't care, man. Mao had some drip. I liked his outfits.
They have 35 DSA candidates running this midterm. 35.
Yes, and all the recent primaries that have been contested in the Democratic Party have been won by socialists and communists.
And to your point, minus Fetterman, not a single leader in the Democrat Party has been willing to condemn the Democrat Socialists of America, again, who represent an ideology.
Like the DSA is just like a library. It's just like the librarian and the fucking lady at the bookstore. Like the little fucking independent bookstore. You know, the one with the cat that you pet? That's a DSA, dude. What are they talking about?
In the last century, killed tens of millions of people. You have prominent Democratic opinion makers, spokespeople who are praising Mao. These are people
dressing as Mao. You don't have that suit at home?
I don't. Very popular in the Democratic Party.
Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Like, the fucking government policy picks winners and losers, and sometimes it means people die. I don't know. Policies of capitalist governments caused people to die too. I don't know, man. Fucking, these people are stupid though. Like, how many people did war kill in the fucking 20th century? Just all the wars. Just war. Regardless of the reason for the war. How many people were killed by religious oppression? How many people were killed by poverty? Like, but they're like, oh, it's communism. Well, what, can poverty not happen during communism? Can famines not happen during communism? And if a famine does happen during communism, is it the fault of communism? Because, I don't know, famines happen. Sometimes it doesn't matter who the fucking government. In fact, a lot of times it doesn't matter who the fucking government is, man. If you're reliant on crops from where you are, and there ain't no fucking rain, or some kind of pestilence comes around and kills your crops, well, then not that the fucking weather and some kind of plant disease or some kind of parasite or some kind of bug or something that comes around and fucks your crops up. They kind of don't care who the government is. That's really dumb. This one's great. Everybody, I don't know if you know this. Russia is a democratic socialist country. Check this out.
Well, before you go, I do want to ask you about what's coming, and of course, that's the midterms. You know, there's a lot of concern out there now that's growing about a lack of enthusiasm among Republican voters as we move to November. There's this new analysis by Americans for Prosperity Action. It shows that 1 in 5 reliable Republican voters are at risk of either staying home or voting for Democrats in November.
Fuck yeah.
Concerned about inflation, the economy, and we're seeing an uptick in voters that are now turning to these DSA candidates over on the Democratic side. So, what do you say to these voters, especially as we're now learning that, many Americans don't see the benefits to their own pocketbooks from the Big Beautiful Bill Act?
Well, that was never the intention of the Big Beautiful Bill.
A lot of benefits from the Big Beautiful Bill. And when you have a chance to talk to people back home, they talk about the no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security. Looking at the increase.
So these aren't no tax. This is like a deduction. These aren't no tax on tips. This is an increase, basically. It's an increase in the deduction. This isn't no tax on tips. It's an increase in the deduction, or an increase in it's a tax credit up to a certain amount. It's not no tax.
Deductions they can get for child tax credits. But what I tell Nebraskans who are very focused on this election is that...
Oh, shit, yeah. Well, Nebraska is certainly going to vote for Republicans. I don't know why they even have this lady on.
There's a stark difference between these parties now, and you mentioned that in your earlier segment there, Cheryl. When you talk about these Democrat socialists, they want to abolish our borders. They want to provide amnesty to illegals that are in this country.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about abolishing the border. Like, it's nice to know, we have borders around zip codes, around phone area codes. You have borders of cities. It's nice to be able to tell someone where the fuck you are. But other than that, I don't know, man. If somebody's here, man, and they're living here and shit, and they're renting a place, and they're going to work, or even if they're not going to work or whatever, I say let them stay. Fuck it. Like, what's the fucking point? Who cares?
They want to abolish funding for the Department of Defense. They want to demilitarize the police. I mean, it's every.
Well, that's because demilitarizing. Yes, the police we used to have. There's two words. There's a word for police and there's a word for military. We have two different words and they're supposed to be two different things. Yeah. I don't want, like, when I lived in Campbell, if anybody knows their way around the Bay Area, Campbell is like a rich, liberal, very fucking safe enclave. And they had a fucking tank until the people went to the city council and one by one were like, why do you have a tank? And then they sold the tank to San Jose.
Nightmare on what this society would become. So I think people are starting to pay attention to that. They understand that. They have deep knowledge about what happens in countries that say they're democrat socialist. Look at Cuba. Look at China. Look at Russia, who then moved into communism. In the history.
Lady, social democrat or democrat socialist is like all of Western and Northern Europe.
Here that set up all these wish lists trying to get people to.
Wait, wish list? Bish, what are you talking about, wish list? You're doing a wish list right now.
For it. Nebraskans and the people of this country are smarter than that, and Republicans.
I'd say the people of the country might be, but I shouldn't say anything mean about the people in Nebraska. They wouldn't know how to spell the name of my Twitch channel to find it anyway.
Are going to be out in force because they understand what's at stake and the need to keep the majorities.
What happened in Russia? Okay, so first of all, Russia is like a kleptocracy, like it's an oligarchy. And prior to the communist revolution, they didn't do like, well, we've done social democracy and then we had a communist revolution. The czar was not like fucking Bernie Sanders or AOC or fucking, come on. No, dude, czarist Russia was not democratic socialist. Like, come on. No. What is the you're like, come on. I know you're from Nebraska, but you're supposed to like know something. Anyway, the next one I called human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. I don't even know what this is about, but oh, it's Laura Ingraham. All right, well, let's see why this clip reminded me of that scene from Ghostbusters.
All right, imagine not 10 or 20 million migrants pouring across our southern border over 4 years. Of course, that happened under Biden. Imagine that number's 100 or even 200 million people, mostly from the third world, camping out in your communities, demanding services from education to housing to healthcare. And imagine a government that scrambles to cater to them while leaving you and your families to pay for and live with the fallout. That's what's coming if the neo-Bolsheviks get real power. Tens of
Bernie Sanders is these are not neo-Bolsheviks. These people would be like moderates in most of Northern and Western Europe. These people are like, well, we're the European tradition. Bitch, this is the European tradition.
Indigents flooding the country is going to do what for the middle class? Destroy hospitals, destroy their schools, take over their cities and suburbs alike. Like everything else that these people are promising.
I don't know, man. Fucking let them take over the suburbs. I've never felt more alienated in my life than when I lived in the fucking suburbs.
It's all false. And it's going to crush our poor and our middle class worse than anyone else, that's for sure. So this glorious socialism isn't about advantage and opportunity. It's about punishment and reckoning.
The race is boiling down to communism versus capitalism. Now remember, communism is not a new idea. It's an excuse for people who don't want to work and a weapon to kill the country.
By the way, this far-left movement that he's talking about is not new. It is the result of decade after decade of indoctrination by an anti-American college professors, this unholy alliance with Democrats and teachers' unions, public schools, public museums, the media.
Museums. Museums.
Legacy media mob, all preaching, the oppressor versus the oppressed. And now this is the, predictable result. Way of life, a belief in confiscation of wealth. They get to steal the power, steal the money. They get to redistribute it. They get to create the voting base, and they get more powerful. And you lose your freedom.
I don't know, man. After all this all the money gets funneled to the top, you either allow for like confiscatory taxes or like, I don't know, they storm the Bastille, so to speak, And I don't mean J6, right? That was the petty bourgeois storming the Bastille, which would have been a little bit weird if that was the way the French Revolution played out. So, you know what I love is when Mark Levin just gets a little bit emotional just about the things that he cares about. Here he is on Hannity, getting just showing that he cares.
Your thoughts?
You know, this guy is, well, we're on cable TV. I got to watch it. He's a real lowlife. You know, it's a funny thing, this guy Puker. He doesn't condemn communist China. In fact,
cry, motherfucker, cry. Like, it's okay for men to cry, but come on.
He's the greatest man to ever walk the planet. Right now, communist.
Oh man, I'm not even. You know what, man? I could have given like a fuck about Hassan. Like, I just don't watch other streamers. Like I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't choose to watch him, but I don't know, man. You gotta make me take a side. I'm taking Hassan's side because he seems fine, right? If I saw him out and about, I'd be like, hey man, I hope I'm not bothering you. What's up, man? Like, here's the first time we ever ran a clip of Jesse Waters on this show. I don't know if anybody's been here that long. Maybe Ali Drew or Michael Richards was around for that. He was a guy who was doing reporting for, I'm sorry, I used the word reporting. He was an idiot with a microphone and a camera running around getting video for Bill O'Reilly's show. First time we ran a clip of him, he basically just went to Chinatown and went up to people and did the functional equivalent of going to Chinese people and being all ching chong ding dong and putting a fucking microphone in their face. And then he wondered why the people there were rude to him. And so now he's talking about Francesca Wong, and he's going to go back to his roots a little bit in this very short clip of him trying to talk about this person who's a human being.
We've been reading a lot in the Bible about what Jesus says. And I'm going to give this Wong, or what's her name? Hong, the benefit of the doubt.
Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, they all have the same last name. You know her last name, dude. Come on. What do you do all day? Like, just stop it. Like, just like, there's just like, oh, the fact that a lot of these people, a lot of the DSA candidates are non-white candidates it's not lost on me, and it's certainly not lost on the people that are mad at them. Kararist and I were talking about this a little bit on Twitter earlier today, but it's vis-a-vis the shitlibs that are pissed off or whatever. Blue check brigade. Anyway, here's the Dersh, who I think should probably just have taken the L, and like, I don't know, he's got a big pile of money, man. Dersh, you should have just taken your big pile of money and I was going to say go to an island, but maybe not the best idea. I don't know, go to like Miami Beach or something and just drink cocktails for the rest of your life. But instead he's doing this. He's trying to basically Jew check New Yorkers who voted for, or maybe didn't even vote for, but Zoran Mamdani. I think this might be a little bit anti-Semitic. Let's see.
I have to tell you that the real problem are Jews. Jews at the.
Oh my God! These are the people telling you that the fact that you don't like what Israel is doing to people that it says are fucking people that are within what it says are its own borders, that you think that that's evil. That makes you anti-Semitic. Yet here's this guy, I believe a Jewish man himself, saying, I know that he says more things, but here, look, all right, dude, you go on.
I have to tell you that the real problem are Jews. Jews in the Upper West Side, Jews in the Upper East Side, Jews in Park Slope, the Jews who voted for Mamdani. Remember, 7,000 Jews voted for Adolf Hitler in 1932. Most of them ended up in the gas chambers. And
I mean, come on, dude. Like, get out of here.
These idiot Jews, they have no idea what they're doing. And, people say Jews are smart. Yeah, they're smart Jews. Some of the dumb.
I don't say it, but this is the model minority shit. Nah, I don't know, man. Sure, Jewish people are smart, but so is everybody else. If people are dumb, people are just average intelligence. I think as soon as you start trying to measure people's intelligence, you're probably just a fascist. But
people I've ever met are Jews from Park Slope and Upper East Side and Upper West Side who don't understand where their own interests lie. Im ein ani li mile, if I am not for myself, who will be for me if I'm for myself alone? What am I? That's Hillel. You don't need Hillel to understand that any Jew who votes for Mandami is a self-hater. You can't do that. You can't vote for somebody who marginalizes Jews, discriminates against Jews, hates Israel, calls Israel a genocidal state falsely. No self-respecting Jews should do that.
You're absolutely right.
No, you're wrong. Like, I don't know. I don't have an opinion on any race really, because there's all kind of different people, but like some Jewish people are just like, oh, I like this guy. He seems like he'd be a good mayor. And then they voted for him because that's what they did. I don't think that makes them stupid. The alternative, unless you wanted to vote for Curtis. Well, actually, I think Curtis Silva was the only reasonable alternative, right? At least the dude had a bunch of cats, seemed to love his wife, which more than you can say for fucking Cuomo. Jesus Christ. But again, like, they're mad at this guy. Check this out. This is the guy they're mad at. Like, come on.
Hi, Mayor. Going back to the topic earlier when it comes to the Prime Minister of Israel, I understand that you're making it clear that you're criticizing a particular politician, not the ethnic group, but there have been growing concerns amongst elected officials, some of your allies, such as the Attorney General, Letitia James, about the fact that comments and rhetoric may be rising temperatures. Do you take those concerns to heart, and what is your plan to bring down those temperatures?
So I think to your point, when I make criticisms of Prime Minister Netanyahu, they are criticisms of Prime Minister Netanyahu. And what I shared were not even, frankly, personal assessments, they were objective facts. And my responsibility as a New Yorker and as a mayor of this city is a responsibility to take care of each and every person who calls the city their home. And that is not based upon whether or not they agree with me, how they feel about me. My job is to make sure that they are safe, that they are thriving, and they continue to call this city home. And that's always going to be my North Star on how we can do that. Because this is an incredible city, and it's a city where everyone needs to know that their belonging to it is not conditional on how they feel about the mayor.
What a good answer. He's like, I don't even care if you don't like me. I'm trying to deliver for you. Like, again, like, this is the guy they're going after. I'm sorry, this is the nicest motherfucker in America, right? Like, you're maybe Miss Rachel is nicer than this guy. Maybe. What? But come on, man. Like, how they're just not going to be able to stay mad at this guy. It's just impossible. That wasn't like canned or rehearsed. He's just like, man, he's just like, it's just my job to like make this city a better place for the people who live here, even if they don't like me. But like, come on. Ooh, speaking about someone that people don't like, I always find it interesting when Stephen Miller goes after the way anyone looks or anybody being a freak or a weirdo or anything like that. And here's him doing that again.
These are people
trusting his mouth. You don't have that suit at home?
I don't. Very popular in the Democratic Party. But that just underscores, Sean, the people you mentioned, the names you mentioned, AOC, Bernie, the Squad, Omar, these are people who even 10 or 15 years ago would have been relegated to the outer extreme fringes of the Democrat Party. They're now the center of the party. They're the heart of the party. They're the soul of the party. So the Democrats have become a party of freaks, weirdos, losers, and crazies. But you can't laugh it off because it's deadly serious. Wow. When you give these people power, everything you know and love in this world falls apart. You have chaos, corruption, decay, violence, poverty.
That's how it ends.
This guy, like, dude, this is like, I don't like to talk about the way that people look and shit, but yo, dude, that guy, I've got what, fucking 16 years on that guy, dude. Fuck, man. Hate makes you ugly, dude. Hate makes you ugly. Jeez, man. So this Max Miller thing, this is a guy, he's running, or I think he's an incumbent. I haven't even looked into it, but this Max Miller thing, where the allegations are that he threw hot water at his wife, like boiling water, during an argument, and then I think he broke his daughter's collarbone. But it's just going to go away. It's just going to go away. It doesn't matter. We're not even going to hear about it in a week. And here's Gymnasium Jordan sort of brushing it off because that's what's going to happen. We're not even going to hear about this shit. It's gone. It's over. We're never going to hear about it again.
I also want to ask you about something a little closer to home. There is a colleague of yours in the Ohio delegation, Max Miller, who is facing allegations of abuse from an ex-wife of the wife and his then toddler daughter. Do you
wait? Whoa! Wait a minute. When I heard like broken collarbone, I just kind of assumed that it was a teenager or something. I didn't know. What the fuck?
I think that Max Miller, who denies this abuse, should he resign from Congress in light of the accusations?
Look, this is a family matter. I know Max is a good man. I was up campaigning for him. I hope he wins re-election. He's done a good job as a member of Congress, and we should all pray for his family.
Oh, that's some Christian nationalist shit there, right? That's fucking full on out of the Christian nationalist fucking Handmaid's Tale fucking playbook. Is, well, I don't know. Domestic abuse is a family issue.
Difficult times that they're going through. We understand that. These kind of situations always are. But Max is a good member and a colleague, and hopefully he's going to win re-election. But ultimately, in the end, that's up to the voters in his district. But yeah, we were up helping Max just a few weeks ago at a campaign event up in his district in the northern.
You're helping him smack his ex-girlfriend around or something?
I mean, the allegations include that Miller scalded his ex-wife's chest and stomach when he threw hot water at her, that he held a gun to her head, that he pushed her against a wall and hit her in the head, that he fractured their daughter's collarbone and bruised her shoulder, that his 2-year-old daughter reportedly told his ex-wife, quote, "Daddy,
Casey,
kill you." I want to play for you what you said when you were asked about Graham Plattner, who faced out.
Oh shit! Fucking rare W from CNN here. But this is just so. But again, I swear to you, this is the last time you're gonna fucking hear about this. Watch.
Told,
yeah, I've not heard all this stuff.
Well, it was in the New York Times. It was in the New York Times. That's the list of allegations. It's been out there for a while.
I've not read it.
I just want to show you what you told Newsmax when you saw that Graham Plattner was facing these accusations. Watch.
That's always been the case with Democrats. It's all about maintaining power. They will take any crazy position as long as it furthers their ability to win elections and get power, and frankly, to go against anyone who goes against President Trump.
Why does that not apply here to Republicans who want to keep power in the seat?
Well, I don't know the context of the question I was asked about Mr. Plattner, but my guess it was about all the ridiculous positions he's taken.
The banner there says Plattner's ex-girlfriend accuses him of abuse.
Well, you know what? Like, I don't know, man. There's nothing. I know that like the news has to do what the news has to do, but the left, and I mean everybody from Nancy Pelosi all the way out to seize the means of production, we got to stop acting like these people being hypocrites fucking matters, because it doesn't. It does not fucking matter.
Tattoo and everything else. Yeah, well, I don't know. I didn't answer. I don't know that I answered that question. I think I was dealing with just who he was as a candidate and the crazy anti-Semitic, anti-Israel, pro-Nazi positions that he has taken.
So Graham Plattner had that fucking tattoo and shit, but he didn't take any pro-Nazi positions like during the camp. Like, what on earth is he talking about?
I think is evidenced by the fact that he had a Nazi tattoo on his chest.
All right, Congressman Jim Jordan, thanks for spending some time
with us. And frankly, it wasn't me that kicked him off the ballot. It was the Democrats.
All right, fair enough, sir. Thank you very much. We'll be right back.
What do you guys think? You think we're going to see anything? I think this. I think this Max Miller thing is over. I think that's the whole media cycle around it. I don't think we're going to see anything else about it. Like, the allegations are that he threw boiling water at his wife and did something. I don't know what it was that he allegedly did. It broke a 2-year-old's collarbone. And now his ex-girlfriend is filed for a restraining order against him. We're not going to hear shit about this again, ever, though. We're just never going to hear anything about it. Just not gonna. Sorry. It's over. Probably going to win. Although it might be nice if he gets his ass kicked in the fucking election, but who knows? Here, this is that my guest paying tribute to Lindsey Graham. Here's Sean Hannity talking about how Lindsey Graham is at fucking a Mar-a-Lago in the sky.
Lindsey, Mr. President, I would argue in my mind, probably has a heavenly version of Mar-a-Lago. It may even be a little bigger. He may have a little more gold in the Oval Office in his mansion in heaven. And I wouldn't be surprised if he added one big, beautiful ballroom and an arch somewhere on the property, because he would want to obviously duplicate his dearest friend in life, you.
Oh man, fuck Lindsey Graham and shit, but like it's so weird that they're throwing a funeral or whatever, or a celebration of life or whatever for Lindsey Graham, but the whole point is to fucking gas up Donald Trump. Jesus Christ. It's like if I died and somebody fucking during my funeral was just there, like, I don't know, who, like gassing up Rhizome the whole time or whatever. Like, what the fuck, dude? Jesus Christ. Here's Trump accurately actually saying that Lindsey Graham never met a war that he didn't like. Like on Fox and Friends and Friends and Friends and Friends and Friends and Friends.
I jokingly say, and there's nothing funny about it, but he's never seen a war that he didn't like. He was very much into that, and for good reason. He felt that way. Some other people feel that way, but he was very much very strong on the military. And I built a great military, and he helped me. We built it during my first term, and we use it now. But I built a great military.
Lindsey Graham's dead, but I don't know, man. I made a big military, and I don't know, I guess Lindsey Graham helped or whatever. He never met a war he didn't like. I know that for sure. Man, they didn't even like this guy, dude. I mean, whatever. Like, I don't like him either. These people didn't even like this guy. You could tell they didn't like this guy. Nobody liked this guy. So, speaking of the military and Iran, though, did you know that this is all Jimmy Carter's fault? I guess they just ran out of times that they're allowed to blame Biden for it, so it's all Jimmy Carter's fault.
To you, Congressman. So 3 straight days, the United States paused attacks on Iran. The naval blockade remains in full force, holding strong. But behind closed doors, it's believed diplomatic channels are still ongoing, that diplomats hope to bring the two sides back to the table. Where do you think things stand right now in terms of the war with Iran?
Boy, that's a multi-thousand-year-old question. Yeah. It really is. My first dealings with Iran and people from Iran literally started in the mid-'60s when my best friend, as a senior in high school, was an Iranian exchange student whose family was very prosperous, as Iran was before 1979. And I'm not going to blame Jimmy Carter as a president, but the bottom line is he set that ball rolling when he allowed the radical Islamists to take over. So we've been...
Wait, man, you're skipping a lot. You skipped some stuff. I'm not going to blame Jimmy Carter, but actually it was his fault. Well, fucking, dude, you just blame Jimmy Carter. I mean, if you want to blame Jimmy Carter, do it with your whole fucking chest. You fucking get out of here. Also, wait a minute. What happened to all that money that Trump said that we took from Venezuela? I mean, while we're on, I guess we'll call this the war footing. What happened to all that money from Venezuela? Who knows? Certainly not Trump.
Just the reports that the United States has taken in $13 billion from Venezuela. Where is that money going?
$13 billion from Venezuela? I think even more than that. Now, Venezuela, we've paid for that war many times over. And that'll happen with Iran also. We paid for the war many times over.
But where is that money going?
Which, by the way, no other president can say that for a long time. Okay? When was the last president that could say that? So we had a cost of Venezuela. We paid for it many, many times over. And now, as you know, we have a very good relationship with Venezuela.
But where is that money going?
It was toward running the country.
No, it's the U.S. The money that the U.S. is taking in. Where is that money going?
Venezuela?
Yes.
Toward running the country. It can go to the military. You know, Congress has to approve it. Congress doesn't like approving money for the military. They like giving it to things that shouldn't be done. But we're taking in a lot of money, billions and billions of dollars from Venezuela. That'll happen with Iran too.
Where's he going? I don't know. The Congress won't appropriate more money to the military because Congress famously never appropriates money to the fucking military. Jesus Christ. Here's from a Trump rally, which is a really weird thing, I think, for a lame duck president to be doing. Actually, most presidents, while they're in office, don't be holding a lot of rallies. They have press conferences and stuff, but not rallies. Did you know that he was asked for ID to vote, or something? He's saying he was asked for ID to vote. He was, I don't know. This is a really weird thing to say, and kind of a weird way to say it. Check this out.
And hopefully there will be no mail-in ballots. Mail-in ballots are inherently corrupt, except for illness, disability, military deployment, or travel. If you're in the military, you're far away, absolutely. If you have to go someplace, absolutely. But mail-in ballots have proven to be a disaster. We're the only country in the world that in this form does them. There's no other country in the world because they're corrupt.
He said we're the only country in the world that in this form. And that just means that like in the exact specific multitude of ways that 50 different states have implemented it, we're the only country that does that. Probably the only country with exactly 50 states too. So
they pass through too many hands. When you go to a voter booth, even me, I went to vote. Sir, may I please see your identification? Sir, I'm so embarrassed. I know you're Trump. Please, do you have some identification? I don't want to lose my job. I whipped out, I was lucky I had some kind of a card on, man, and I didn't even know, but I gave it, thank you, sir. So I'm so embarrassed. She kept apologizing. I said, don't apologize. You're doing your job. That's what you're supposed to be doing. It was so beautiful.
that's weird because this guy says that he votes by mail. He's said that many times he votes by mail because he's like too important or whatever to show up in person to vote. Now I guess he's getting asked for his ID and the person apologized for it. Man, this didn't happen, dude. Shut the fuck up. Like at least I don't know, at least other politicians try to tell lies that are fucking somewhat believable or whatever. But this guy is just like, he's just like, I don't know, man. I'll make up a story about being asked for an ID to vote. You know what Trump hates more than anything else? For I don't know what reason? Windmills.
And he's got energy problem. He's got windmills all over the place. And anytime you see windmills, you see a failing country. And they're made in China, not used by China, but they're made in China. And you have a thing called the North Sea. And
okay, so China does have significant wind power. This is all wrong. Like, windmills are fine. I think they look cool. Windmills are fine. This is just all incorrect. Now, he doesn't like that fucking dope ass fucking airport in Denver either. I don't know if anybody here's ever, if you ever get a layover in Denver, make sure you check out the fucking art and shit at the Denver airport. Denver airport's fucking so cool. Trump doesn't like it.
And modern airports yet. The last major airport built in the United States was Denver in 1995, and it hasn't gotten very great reviews. That's more than 30 years ago. So we're doing something with Dulles that's going to make it, I think, the top, maybe the top anywhere in the world. And by the way, Palm Beach is going to be one of the top too. Palm Beach is going to be incredible what the plans are. The people, Joe, and all the people working in Palm Beach that have done such an incredible job. That's going to be an unbelievable airport very shortly.
Is the airport in Palm Beach even a major airport? Wouldn't people fly into like the Miami? Wouldn't people fly into like, what is it, Miami-Dade Airport or whatever? I don't think the airport in Palm Beach is a major airport, unless maybe that is where the airport for Miami is, but I don't think so. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure that Palm Beach isn't a major airport, and the idea that anybody would be mad at that dope ass fucking airport in Denver is fucking stupid. They fucked up on the construction of it. There's some problems with it. They were going to try to do all the luggage underground in tunnels, which really probably pisses off the conspiracy theorists. But it didn't work. And so now there's all those tunnels there. And I mean, they're trafficking children or whatever under the tunnels. Maybe it connects directly to the Getty. But yeah, I don't know. If you ever get a chance, check out the airport in Denver. It's really cool. And I don't think as far as I know, the Palm Beach doesn't even have a major airport. Anyway, after like 70% of people in Texas voted to legalize weed, the state legislature, the state government, outlawed it anyway. Here's James Tallarico with mostly the right take, although a little fear cartel stuff I'm not here for, but like whatever. As far as like moderate mainstream Democrats go, this guy's pretty fucking good. So yeah, here's him talking about weed.
This bill is insane. This legislature legalized hemp 6 years ago, but instead of regulating this booming industry in our state, we are now going backwards to the days of prohibition. This bill is not going to stop Texans from smoking weed or eating edibles just because a bunch of politicians in Austin tell them not to. Texans will still use THC, but instead of getting it safely from a local small business, they'll now get it from the black market, from the drug cartels. This ban is a gift to the cartels. We are now telling full-grown adults how to live their lives. This is the nanny state at its worst. This is big government at its worst. I thought the Republican Party believed in limited government and personal responsibility. I thought the Republican Party believed in liberty and freedom. What gives us the right to tell an adult what to do on their own time? We are now about to throw Texans in jail for seeking relief that's safer than alcohol and less addictive than tobacco. Instead of fully funding schools, expanding access to health care, lowering costs of childcare, this legislature is focused on banning a product that gives people a little peace. Texans use THC to lessen anxiety. Seniors use it to manage chronic pain. Our veterans use it to treat PTSD. With this ban, we are now making people's lives harder, not easier. I want to leave you with a quote. It is time to end needless arrests and incarcerations of adults for small amounts of marijuana for personal use. That wasn't a Democrat. That was President Donald Trump. To my Republican colleagues, I'm asking you to oppose the cartels, stand with President Trump, and vote no on this insane bill.
Yeah, I don't know about that cartel shit, but also I don't know. He's trying to like he's running for office in Texas, so you know you got to triangulate a little bit. Overall, I like the guy, and 70% of the fucking state voted to legalize weed. That means a lot of fucking Republicans voted to legalize weed. I think you should run on it. I think you should be running on this, right? I mean, this just happened, and the race hasn't really heated up yet. I think he needs to be running on this. He absolutely needs to be running on this. Anyway, here is Tallarico. We try not to run a lot of MS Now clips around here, but here is Tallarico pointing out the differences between him and Ken Paxton, just in case anyone is unaware of the differences between James Tallarico and Ken Paxton.
So you've agreed to these three debates. The schedule is September 22nd, all Tuesdays, September 22nd, October 6th, October 13th. Ken Paxton and the Republican TV ad campaign has been throwing all sorts of junk at you. And so this first time we're going to see you confronting this very directly with Paxton will be September 22nd. Do you expect him to bring into the debate all the kinds of insulting junk he's been throwing around?
Well, Ken Paxton has not accepted any of these debates yet. When I get tough questions, I answer them. When Ken Paxton gets tough questions, he runs away.
Fuck yeah, call him Runaway Ken. Runaway Ken.
Away from reporters, from voters, from anyone asking hard questions. If you've given an Epstein-style sweetheart deal to an admitted child predator, you should have to answer the public's questions. If you were reported to the FBI for bribery by your own staff, you should have to answer the public's questions. If you become a multimillionaire on a government salary and now own 15 homes on the public's dime, then you should have to answer the public's questions. I get it. If I had Ken Paxton's record of corruption, I wouldn't want to answer these questions either. But he's asking for your vote. He is asking for your trust. And the people of Texas deserve answers. So I've challenged Ken Paxton to these 3 televised debates. The networks have already set the dates and the times and the locations. We're just waiting on Ken Paxton. I'm not afraid of tough questions. We'll see if Ken Paxton can say the same.
So there could be an empty chair at these debates.
There might be. And Ken Paxton has a long history of saying one thing and doing another, of promising to show up and then not showing up. And so I'll believe it when he walks onto that debate stage. I think the people of Texas deserve answers to their very legitimate questions about his career of corruption. He hasn't debated in more than a decade. He hasn't made himself available to questions from the public. And I think that should end this November as Texans face this very important choice on November 3rd.
Yeah, this guy might win. Let's not get our hopes up too high. I don't know. Remember, everybody was like, "Oh, Beto O'Rourke is going to beat Ted Cruz." I was like, "The fuck he is." But Ken Paxton, like, Ted Cruz got his problems, but Ken Paxton is a way worse candidate than Ted Cruz. And I know that's a wild thing to say, but Ken Paxton is a worse candidate than Ted Cruz. But this guy's also going to have to kind of clean the guy's clock. Kind of clean Ken Paxton's clock, or the Republican apparatus in Texas, as well as the Republican apparatus in the White House, is going to do everything they can to claim that his victory was fraudulent. Even if he wins by 3 or 4 points, which would be huge, they're still going to claim that his victory was fraudulent. So that's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen. Either Ken Paxton's going to win, or Tallarico's going to win, and they're going to try to take it away from him because they're fucking a bunch of piss babies. So we're going to move on. We only got a couple stories about Iran because there's just so much fucking crazy things going on here. So Trump says he's talking to people. Trump says he's talking to people with leaders from Iran, and Iran says, no, you're not. So I don't know. This is all fucked up. Here's Brian Kilmeade talking to Donald Trump.
War in Iran. I know you're going to be talking about that today with the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and you're going to be. We hear that you're talking right now with leaders on Iran, but Iran has come out publicly and said we're not talking to the U.S. We're going to pause as long as they're paused.
We are talking a little while ago because.
So could you tell me who you're talking to, Mr. President?
For some reason, we can be in the midst of a beautiful discussion, and they'll come out and say, we're not talking, or we didn't discuss nuclear. Well, that's all we discussed because they'll never have a nuclear weapon. They understand that. And I
thought they were 2 weeks away from one.
Very interesting with Lindsey. He was very much a hawk, as you would say, on Iran. And over the last few weeks, I would say that he became like, if you could make a deal, it's better making a deal in this case than just destroying the rest of the country. We've destroyed most of it, frankly. But he was somebody that said it's a good time to make a deal, nice time to make a deal.
What does a good deal look like?
Now, I wouldn't say necessarily he feels that way about Ukraine. He's very militant about. I mean, Lindsey liked war, to be honest with you. Okay, I said
again. I didn't even know that was in here. That rules.
Like war so much. He was a guy that liked war.
All right, man. Cool. Yeah, I agree. Lindsey Graham was one of the worst warmongers that ever walked the fucking planet. That is true. That is true. Up next, so here's Trump. He's like, I could disallow all the trade. I could even destroy the country. But they're not going to let me put little fees on imports. A weird thing to say. I don't know, this guy just says weird stuff now. He's always said weird stuff, but it's getting weirder.
But I am allowed to cut off any and all trade
or business with that same country. In other words, I can destroy the trade. I can destroy the country. I'm even allowed to impose a foreign country destroying embargo. I can embargo. I can do anything I want, but I can't charge $1. Because that's not what it says. And that's not the way it even reads. I can do anything I want to do to them, but I can't charge any money. So I'm allowed to destroy the country, but I can't charge them a little fee. I could give them a little 2-cent fee, but I cannot charge under any circumstances. I cannot charge them anything. Think of that. How ridiculous is that? I'm allowed to embargo them. I'm allowed to tell them you can't do business in the United States anymore. We want you out of here. But if I want to charge them $10, I can't do that. It's incorrect. Their decision's incorrect. But it doesn't matter because we have very powerful alternatives that have been approved by this decision. You know, they've been approved by the decision.
All right, dude, whatever. Whatever. I can destroy their country. I'm in the process of destroying this one, but I can't charge tariffs. Yeah, that's because that's the Congress. The Congress does that. Congress has to approve them. So, in a really weird turn of events, a dude named Vivek Ramaswamy won the Republican primary in Ohio. Now, and I think anybody listening to or watching this, if a dude's name was Vivek Ramaswamy and his policies were good, you wouldn't even think twice about voting for him because you don't give a fuck. In Ohio, I think there's a good chance this guy's going to lose. Not just because his name's Vivek Ramaswamy, but it ain't going to help with the people he's trying to get to vote for him, right? Also, stuff like this isn't really going to be super helpful for him, I don't think.
The truth of the matter is, no matter what happens in whichever direction we go, people of my generation have already made it. We're going to be fine. It's going to be your generation that pays the price.
You're a political cretin, and you need to get the fuck out of here.
Fuck yeah. He's like, I don't know, man. Fucking, I'm Gen X. We're fine, baby. Which is not true. A lot of Gen X isn't fine. He's like, but you guys are fucked. And they're like, boo. Because of course they're like, boo. I mean, I don't know, man. Don't go in front of people you're trying to get to vote for you and then be like, I got mine. Fuck y'all. Jesus Christ. So there were allegedly some cyber attacks on critical infrastructure in Minnesota. Some of the cybersecurity people, some of the national security experts say it's Iran. I don't know for sure, but you know who Trump thinks did it? Trump thinks Minnesota attacked Minnesota.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Can you rule out that Iran is behind the water attacks? Can you rule out that Iran is behind that cyber attack?
I think that Minnesota is behind it. You know who's behind it? Minnesota, because they're grossly incompetent. I think the governor's behind it. I don't think there was an Iranian cyber attack. I think that Minnesota ought to get its act together. It's one of the worst run states. JD will tell you. He found tremendous corruption in Minnesota. Yes, sir. And by the way, just gave me a report. Massive future things having to do with corruption in Minnesota are happening right now. Thank you very much.
Massive future things are happening right now. Like, I know what he meant, but it sounded like he said that Minnesota did the cyber attack on Minnesota. And I don't know. It could have been someone in Minnesota that did it. We don't fucking know. But here's more. Oh, wait. Nope. Well, this is a live show. And as is the case with the live show, sometimes they make mistakes. That was the same clip twice by two different sources. So we're going to move on. This is the State Department used an open AI generated map of Africa that just was wrong. Just totally fucking wrong.
The State Department says it takes full responsibility for hastily altering and then presenting a map of Africa at a global AIDS conference that mislabeled every single country it highlighted. Attendees shared photos of the incorrect map online. Coastal countries like Nigeria, Mozambique, and Cote d'Ivoire were all landlocked and in the wrong locations. Other countries' borders were misrepresented. An analysis by Reuters found a watermark in the map image that suggests it was made with OpenAI.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Listen, that's the only good use of AI, right? Is to make the Trump administration's fucking State Department look bad. Otherwise, that shit's fucking fuck that shit. But if it does stuff like that, if that's all it's doing is sabotaging the Trump administration, fucking build the data centers. Fuck it. We'll tear them down later. Here we go. Here's more news about the healthcare plan that I guess that the Trump administration and the Republicans have. This is only a 20-second clip because that's like basically all the detail or lack thereof that this guy's going to be able to muster about it.
We will pass the Great Health Care Plan. That's what it's called, the Great Health Care Plan, to stop all payments to big insurance companies and give the money directly to you, the people, so that they can buy their own health care, which will be much less expensive and be a much better health care. Very simple.
What's the difference? Like he keeps saying this, he keeps saying this sort of the same thing over and over again. But if I'm applying for, if you know, I'm on the county healthcare plan here in Alameda County, it's wonderful. But if I'm applying for a subsidy through the ACA, the government gives some of the money to the insurance company, and I pay the difference. What is the difference functionally between that and the government sending me the money that they would have otherwise sent the health insurance company, and then I take the money that I was going to send the health insurance company, add it to the money the government gave me, and then send it to the health insurance company? It seems like all that does is adds an extra step for me. Now, mind you, we need to have single payer like the fucking other countries do. But in the system we have right now, all you're doing is adding a step because the money still goes to the health insurance company. So why send it to me to have me send it to the health insurance company? I suppose then you're going to have some system by which you ensure that I actually use that money on healthcare. And so now you've created more bureaucracy because there's, you know, some people are going to screw up. Some people are going to not be able to buy health insurance because something came up or whatever. And so now there's a whole ass other problem that's going to be happening here. Here's Representative Anna Paulina Luna's tweet with a video. And these people are mad at Tony Fauci. I've got a whole bunch of clips about this. These people are fucking mad.
Is this massive dichotomy between what he was saying privately and what he was simultaneously saying publicly. He says in his diaries on January 30th that the Wuhan lab could not possibly be the source of the virus.
Oh, we know that was all false.
Then, well, we all know it, but now his diary, he says he knew that, and yet for 2 years he told us that was.
But he was given a pardon prospectively from the last administration. We don't know if it was an auto pen pardon. It doesn't really matter for legality purposes. But Americans want to know, a lot of them, is there going to be any accountability for trillions of dollars lost, children's education destroyed, and public health industry reputation shattered?
Yeah, and millions of people.
The accountability should go to Fox News. Their guests, including people like RFK Jr., also not for nothing, Brett Weinstein, Joe Rogan. These people all spent the entire time trying to erode trust in public health, and then they got what they wanted, and now they're bitching about it and acting like it was somebody else's fault.
Injured, that he lied about masks, he lied about social distancing, he lied about the transmission, he lied about natural immunity. He lied about the capacity, as you just said, of the vaccine to prevent infection. He got
the vaccine doesn't prevent infection. It reduces the chance of you getting extremely sick and reduces your symptoms. And if the symptoms are the coughing and all that, and the coughing is the way that you transmit it, Well, if you're not coughing all over the place, you're going to transmit it less, and then other people are going to get it less.
Made it a very, very public press conference in January of 2020. And then 5 months later, he had, and this is the first time that we knew this from the diary, he had a pulmonary infarction, which is one of the adverse events that NIH, CDC, and FDA said are expected from the vaccine. He never told anybody. He got treated for it privately by the best doctors in America. At the same time, he was telling everybody that that was not an adverse event.
Is there anything else we're missing from these diaries that has not been released that you can share with us?
So he's an older man and he got sick, and they're trying to say that the vaccine is why he got sick. All right, that's dumb.
I don't think, I mean, I have to say a lot of this stuff is in my book. But based upon other documents, but there's something very dramatic, even for me, of seeing him write it in his own journal, confessing to being wrong, to lying about all
also
this
loving
stuff.
his own press. I mean, they're going on and I'm the most.
This. Okay, so like, I don't know. I mean, like if somebody found it or whatever, I don't know, man. This is this dude's private thoughts. He like fucking who got a hold of this diary? I have a lot of questions here, actually. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's, he's a public figure. He bought the ticket. He takes the ride and shit. But I have a lot of questions about this, actually. Here's Tommy Tuberville. I guess Dr. Fauci, you got 9 million people killed. Jesus Christ. Don't you remember while this was all happening, these people were telling you that COVID wasn't even dangerous? You remember? Now we got 9 million people killed. I suppose he's going to say that the vaccine killed 9 million people, which even the fucking crazy ass fucking shit that you see on VAERS doesn't show 9 million. But let's see what Tommy Tuberville has to say, shall we?
Happened. I was on the HELP committee when the COVID first hit. We went through probably every other week, maybe sometimes every month, we had a hearing with Dr. Fauci. We all asked him questions. He lied to us, and he knew he was lying to us because we found out all the information now since then. A lot of it even in his diary, Liz, but the problem is he hurt trust in this country. He put this country in a tailspin. He almost bankrupted our country with what they did. Between Obama and Biden, this guy gets Weasel of the Year award. I mean, he will eventually end up either broke or in prison because I'll tell you what's going to happen. I'm eventually going to be the governor of Alabama. And we had the most of anybody per capita of dying in this country.
Gee, why was that?
And we're going to sue the heck out of this guy. He's going to court every day of his life for the rest of his life, and he's going to have to look these people in the face, these families, because the pardon does not cover state government. And we're going to go after him with everything we've got because the guy killed or had something to do with killing 9 million people.
Yeah, we can't prove that, right? But that's yet to be determined.
Oh, look at that. Uh-oh. Wow, we can't. Huh. Something almost $1 billion settlement to Dominion. Something.
Oh, yeah, we can determine it. No, we can determine it because he was in on the gain of function. He was
You're
a guy
saying
that
you can
funded
determine
this.
it. We understand that, yes. We understand that you want to move to do that. I want to get to the law.
She's like, you're saying that. She's like, I don't know about this. A little gun shy over there at Fox Business, it looks like. Little bit worried about lawsuits. Here we go. This is Senator Roger Marshall. Everybody had a friend who like almost died from the vaccine. Everybody. And that's true. If you go on Facebook anti-vaccine groups, my mother, my sister, my cousin, my brother, my auntie, my child, my other child, everybody I know either died or almost died from the shot. Everybody. No, you can't talk to them. They go to another school. It's in Canada.
research, but I think, again, he was so drunk with his own fame that he was emotionally conflicted since he funded this virus, and then he overcompensates. But again, and then at the end of the day, he destroys the trust of the American people for the government and created all this vaccine hesitancy as well. He even himself, it's now being reported, took the vaccine and he had some type of a pulmonary infarction. I mean, who didn't?
Pulmonary infarction? The man was over 80 years old.
Friend that took this vaccine and had some type of complication, a stroke, a blood clot, a young man getting some type of heart inflammation as well. That's what destroyed the trust in the American people for our government.
And just bother me, Senator Fetterman comes out and says, I'm not going to read the diaries. That means you're not preparing. You have to prepare. Democrat or Republican, ask real questions.
I wouldn't read another man's diary either. This is, I have some other questions about this. Like, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't know. Maybe Fauci's OPSEC is really bad. Who fucking knows? So, I don't know what this is about. This is from Newsmax. This is Representative John McGuire, and this is something about BLT sandwiches, vaccines, and aborted fetus parts, and ivermectin. I'm telling you, man, when we started this podcast way back in 2015, we were like focused on the anti-vax movement and conspiracy stuff, but I could have never in a million years predicted that I would be introducing a story that I had myself said, well, this story is about BLT sandwiches, vaccines, aborted fetus parts, and ivermectin. There's no way. There's no way in the world that if somebody would have told me that, I'd have been like, oh, that's probably what I'll be doing in 11 years. Sure.
It's crazy. I don't know if you heard about the BLT sandwich using human fetus baby parts in the vaccine when they could have used ivermectin, but maybe they're helping the big pharma get rich. If he were to be convicted of contempt, it'd be a $100,000 fine, up to a year in jail. But that's not enough. And Senator Scott said he's hiding behind a fake auto pen pardon. So I'm hoping that he gets accountability and justice.
What do you mean that what? Anybody know? Anybody have any idea what he's talking about? Anybody have any idea what he's talking about? I have no fucking idea what that was about. Here's Brian Kilmeade, one of the stupidest people on TV, one of the stupidest people on Fox News. Here's Brian Kilmeade saying that Fauci knew he was lying.
Meanwhile, let's talk a little bit about this. Senator Rand Paul has released 1,141 pages of personal journals of Anthony Fauci's from during the time he was running our COVID response. And a lot of the stuff that he wrote down was different than what he was actually telling us. And that's got a lot of people, tongues are wagging all over the place, because it's like, well, was he honest with us? That ultimately is what they're going to be getting to tomorrow in the hearing up on Capitol Hill.
This guy's a maniac, and we knew he was lying. We knew he was changing his opinions and his statements and his policies per interview. We watched how he reveled in the left-wing causes and with the crazy Hollywood celebrities who couldn't get enough of him while he was torturing children in school, keeping them keeping them out of schools forever while denying he was doing just that. In terms of the most vital information, for example, the source of COVID-19, it came from the lab. We said, of course it came. Jon Stewart pointed out it came from the lab. But listen to what Anthony Fauci was telling us publicly.
They said there was something like 24 cases in this wet market. This was jumping from an animal to a human in the context of the wet market. The origin was from the Wuhan wet market.
So that's what he was saying in public, but what he was writing in his diary just 4 months before, 3.5 months before that first testimony, he said something totally different. He said, now we know the market was not the source. It was the amplifier. Having said that, somewhere the virus jumped from animals to humans. And we kept saying over and over, how is this guy, the top doctor, giving us all advice when he sits on the board? He was the longtime director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease. That's part of the NIH. He was giving money, grant money. His organization, the NIAID, was giving money, providing grant money to Echo Health Alliance. That's part of this part of that federal grant money was used to fund bat coronavirus research at the Wuhan lab. So of course he didn't want it to come from the lab. He wanted you to believe it came from the wet market, because then it traces back to his organization helping fund what's happening in the Wuhan lab.
So hold on. So if 4 months prior to some testimony he gave, he wrote in his personal journal, which, by the way, they showed you a sentence of, right? You don't know what the sentence before that was, what the sentence after that was, what the paragraph before that was. Maybe he was caricaturing or characterizing someone else's statement. I don't fucking know. I haven't read the diary. I don't have any desire to go read a fucking another man's diary. But also 4 months later, he gave testimony that said that the most likely origin was zoonotic. So what if over the 4 months between the time that he wrote that in his diary and the time that he gave the testimony, he learned new information, right? This is like if, like, you watch the weather on the news, right? And you're like, you watch Saturday night. They're like, Sunday, you need an umbrella. You need an umbrella tomorrow. It's going to rain. And then you watch the news Sunday night and they tell you, oh, it's going to be sunny out tomorrow. You don't need to wear an umbrella. It's going to be t-shirt weather. You're like, aha, I caught you. It's like, well, not really. Right? Because the information about the weather changed. We have to remember they called it a novel coronavirus. When this first hit, nobody knew anything about it. And so there was all kinds of speculation, all kinds of, like, people were just wrong, and all kinds of people changed their minds. All kinds of people got new information and came to new conclusions. This is fine. So we'll skip this next one because it's a more or less a repeat of one we already did. Here, this is from the hearing. Did you know that Fauci, you know what Fauci needs to do? Fauci needs to apologize to right-wing grifters and anti-vaxxers who made a whole bunch of money spreading fear and paranoia during COVID.
Human being. Dr. Fauci, can you just turn around and look at the people behind you?
Don't. Oh, where's Brett Weinstein? Where's Brett Weinstein?
That's not a question. It's not a question. To your lawyer, it's not a question. It's a request. All you have to do is look up from your lawyers and look at the people who were absolutely shamed for saying what we know now to be the truth. You can't even look at them? That's a question. Are you able to look at them? You can sit down in the audience.
I think he turned off his own mic and started talking. That's great. I don't know if he did that on purpose, but I kind of hope he did. So, okay, like, we're not going to spend too much time on this, but of all people in the world, you wouldn't expect the guy who runs TMZ to mostly have the right take on this, right? This guy runs a tabloid. So you would think that he'd be leaning into the tabloidy parts of this, but watch this.
I have not used TMZ's YouTube channel to vent personal feelings about issues, but I'm going to do that today. Watching Anthony Fauci before a congressional hearing taking the Fifth Amendment is just one of the most heartbreaking things I have seen in government in my lifetime. And this is something we need to reckon with. That I'm going to say up front, I have problems the way the CDC handled COVID. I think that they did damage to children, to adults, and I don't think they did it maliciously. I think they did it because they were using their judgment and were overprotective, and I think at times overstated things they said they knew but really didn't. And I have personal problems with the way that COVID was handled. That said, Anthony Fauci, over a period of decades, has been an amazing public servant. In the 80s, I had many friends who died of AIDS, a horrible, painful death. And I had friends who lived because of Anthony Fauci, because he was willing to look at experimental drugs in a different way than they had looked at them before. And that really resulted in lives saved. And he has done so many other things in his career to thwart epidemics, to save lives, not just in the United States, but all over the world. He has been a dedicated public servant who could have made a lot more money outside of government than inside, but he stayed. And now we are at a point where members of Congress, and yes, you, Rand Paul, are on a witch hunt. And the best I can say for Rand Paul is that he's being really honest. I mean, he has said now over a period of years, he wants Anthony Fauci in a jail cell. He has said it out loud. He wants him in a jail cell. That's the point of this hearing. That's why they're doing this. They want to take something that Anthony Fauci says and then claim it amounts to perjury, and they want to prosecute him, they want to convict him, and they want to throw him in prison. That's the point of this hearing. There is no other point of this hearing. There could be. I mean, there are things they could certainly ask him, but he can't answer. Because if he answers, it doesn't matter what he says. You know, if you can prosecute somebody for frickin' seashells on the beach shore, then you could certainly prosecute somebody for what they say in a congressional hearing. And that's the climate we're in. We are in a Senator Joseph McCarthy climate where there is such fear that people have, and legitimate fear that they'll end up in prison for what they say, no matter what it is, if they are on the wrong side of somebody in Congress or the administration, that they have been silenced. And that's where we are right now. We are in Senator Joseph McCarthy territory. And the idea that you have to watch this man take the Fifth Amendment, and again, I will say, that I disagreed personally with some of the CDC decisions. Absolutely, I did. That said, he's a public servant who worked for us and saved lives for decades. And we are turning him into what Rand Paul wants to be, a criminal. And Rand Paul has a political agenda, and it is prevailing here. Watching Rand Paul order security to throw Anthony Fauci's lawyer out of that hearing was unbelievable to me. We are in a dark period of America.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The last person I thought was going to have a good take was the TMZ guy. Like, he's like, hey, man, at the time, I don't think that all these decisions were right, but it doesn't seem like anybody was doing this maliciously. It seems like it's from an abundance of caution, and this is McCarthyite shit. So that I am kind of surprised, actually. Just kind of surprised. Also, someone in chat said that guy's at least 70 years old. And yeah, dude, that guy looks great for being in his 70s. Good Lord. I hope I'd look that good when I'm in my 70s. So while we're talking about public health, here's Dr. Oz. He's going to tell you that the good thing about the Trump administration is that not that you're going to get the truth, but that you're going to get their version of the truth from the people in the Trump administration.
And the one nice thing about this administration is you might not like us, but you're going to get our version of the truth. And what we generally would, because we're looking at the numbers, pretty accurately can define as being the truth.
You're going to get our version of the truth. All right, dude. Sure. Whatever. All right. Good job. Here's Ron Johnson saying that the people who were vaccine injured are now committing mass suicide. I haven't heard anything about this, but these people are insane.
We haven't acknowledged these injection injuries. These people can't get treatment. They're being gaslit by their doctors. So it's all in your head. The rate of the injection injured of suicides is increasing because they've given up hope, because our medical establishment and federal health agencies completely failed them, failing to acknowledge it. So again, Dr. Nath was...
I don't know, man. You can't gaslight somebody if they're already crazy. Like, what is your doctor supposed to do if you go in and you're like, I have these symptoms and this is a vaccine injury, and the doctor's like, I don't think that's a vaccine injury, but we should work on seeing what's going on with your symptoms. And then you insist that these are symptoms from a vaccine injury. Like, what the fuck? I don't think telling somebody that they're wrong is gaslighting. Gaslighting means like trying to convince somebody when they're right that they're wrong so that they themselves think they're crazy so that you can continue to abuse them. That's what gaslighting is. The word no longer fucking means anything though, because now it just means telling somebody that they're wrong when they don't want to hear it. So anybody out there, anybody you have friends, loved ones, if you yourself have lupus, if you want to know why there was a hydroxychloroquine shortage during COVID, here's Peter Navarro to explain it to you.
All this stuff with science, Jasmine, I want to emphasize, tells us now works. He was saying didn't work. I had 1 million doses of hydroxychloroquine in warehouses as the defense policy coordinator for the DPA that I was trying to distribute to hospitals, and he got the FDA to stop me from doing that. Thousands of people could be here in this country right now alive if I had been able to distribute that. Take that to the bank. That's what the science says.
Okay, I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot about that.
I'm sure we'll be hearing, no, there's no evidence that hydroxychloroquine was an effective treatment or prophylaxis for COVID-19. Also, why were you hoarding 1 million doses of it? Like, literally, I have one friend with lupus who could not get her medication. She couldn't find it. Wasn't a matter of money, it was a matter of it didn't exist. And I'm sure that's not the whole reason, but in part, this asshole was like hoarding 1 million doses of it. So fucking wonderful. Great government, great people we got running the country. Here's Dr. Fauci, here's RFK Jr. Lying, saying that the U.S. had the highest rate of mortality from COVID in the world. This is not true, although we didn't do great. We didn't do so hot.
Let me add one thing to that kind of litany of parade of horribles that we just saw. We had in our country, because of Dr. Fauci's leadership and other reasons, we had the highest mortality rate from COVID of any country in the world. So,
no, that's not true.
We literally did worse than any nation in the world.
That's not true. I don't know who had the highest mortality rate. I didn't look at it, but that's not true. We didn't. We could have, because we're fucking idiots, but we didn't. Somebody else. I don't remember who. I think it might have been, where was it? Was it, I think, of our allies or whatever, wasn't it? Wasn't it either Italy or Spain where it broke out first, but they had the high mortality rate because it broke out really bad there at the beginning, like before vaccines were available and like before it broke out anywhere else among like among like European countries, the United States, Australia. It was Italy. Yeah, it was Italy. And like, but that was because it just happened to break out there like really early. Also, I don't think they had the highest rate in the world. I just know that at the beginning they had a lot of people fucking died. But yeah, he's just wrong. He's just wrong. And not for nothing, if you only take counties that voted for Trump, then maybe, yeah, if you were to eliminate the counties that voted for Biden or Harris or whatever, or even Clinton, or I don't know how you want to do it. Yeah, maybe mortality, like per capita, 40% more people in those places died. Like, if you take it all in, because they were being propagandized by these people to like not take the vaccine, to not obey public health recommendations. You know, if you see the difference between Shasta County and where I was living at the time, Santa Clara County, right? In Santa Clara County, everybody was like, well, this sucks, but they stayed home, they masked up, everybody got the vaccine. And Santa Clara County was one of the best counties in the country. Shasta County, same state, same governor, just a completely different culture. They fucking didn't do any of that stuff, and they had such a higher number of people per capita died of this disease when they didn't have to, because people were freaking out about a mask and, like, I don't know, not screaming at the person that's checking you out at the fucking grocery store. So this was a interesting interview. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but here's RFK Jr. on CNN talking to Dana Bash, and he got real mad at her because she, like, questioned him, and yeah, he gets mad. I like when he gets mad. It's funny listening to him try to sound mad.
And yet we had the worst outcome of any country in the world.
How so?
We have the highest death rate from COVID of any nation on earth.
Well, let me just say, because I've heard you say that before on the death rate from COVID. It's not accurate because public health experts say that there is a combination of factors that went into that: higher rates of chronic illnesses, which I know you would agree with, gaps to our healthcare system, and misinformation about vaccines.
But you just said what I said was inaccurate. What I said was accurate. We had the highest death rate from COVID of any.
Well, there are other countries that had higher, but
you can argue
go ahead
about why we had that.
But you can, no, we can't, because the premise is wrong. She's like, no, there were other countries that had higher death rates, and he just, like, acted like she didn't say it. I don't know. I'm not like a fucking State of the Union with Dana Bash fucking fan, but shouldn't she just stop and be like, no, other countries had higher death rates than the United States?
I can tell you, I mean, we have, as you say, we have the highest chronic disease burden in the world. But Anthony Fauci was mismanaging the COVID pandemic, and he was doing it under the Biden administration.
So most of the management of the COVID pandemic was done at the state, county, and local level, not by the federal government. So that's, like, really important to understand here too. But, you know, whatever.
President Trump wanted to end the lockdowns. And in fact, in Anthony Fauci's diaries, he talks about how President Trump is calling him every day, trying to get him to reopen the country.
Yeah, well, the lockdowns were done by governors. I mean, certainly Anthony Fauci and the president.
There was no, I don't like the term lockdown. It was like, I would call it a stay-at-home suggestion.
But the lockdowns were done by governors, and largely because they were hearing from hospitals saying that their ICUs were overrun and they needed some help while that was happening.
Well, that's not true.
That's not true. Yes, all of this is true. Okay, what they're calling lockdowns, first of all, I think in California, the first place to lock down was where I lived, Santa Clara County. That wasn't done by Fauci, wasn't done by the president, wasn't done by no Gavin Newsom. It was done by the public health official, head public health official in Santa Clara County, who then received many death threats and resigned.
What you're saying is not true. No, they were doing it because Anthony Fauci was telling them from the top, you need to lock down. There were ICUs that were empty all over the country, including in New York at the height.
This is just all incorrect. This is all in, like, what the fuck, dude? Okay, so yeah, it wasn't even necessary, and it's, you know, state by state, right? Because California is a really big state, and so a lot of this stuff is because California is such a big state. With some counties in California are bigger than other states. I think Santa Clara County, LA County has like 10 million fucking people. So counties are massive in California, and that's where these I call them stay-at-home suggestions were first issued. So he's just wrong. The federal government, no, this was all done locally and at the state level. Like, why is he lying? Like, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm asking why RFK Jr. is lying. Look at me, all fucking bright-eyed and fucking naive. He's lying because he's a fucking liar.
Were you listening?
I want to talk to measles.
Actually, were you reading the science yourself?
The measles cases in the U.S. just reached a 35-year high. The second record-breaking year in a row. 93% of these cases are among the unvaccinated. The outbreak has happened on your watch. And even before becoming HHS secretary for years, you have been one of the leading voices questioning the efficacy of vaccines. Do you accept some responsibility for this measles outbreak?
Absolutely not. First of all, this is an international outbreak. So, and we're doing better at handling it than any country in the world.
All right, that's great. You are one of the leading, like, you were a little late to the party, actually. People don't realize this. He was a little late to the party, at least as far as being like an anti-vaccine celebrity. But yeah, the uptake of standard vaccination worldwide is down because of the well-funded anti-vaccine propaganda machine that RFK Jr. is a part of. Yeah. I don't know. Other countries don't seem to have a part of that well-funded machine as the head of their health, like as the head of their healthcare, like whatever their healthcare department is for their nation. But yeah, like this is, this misinformation and lies and fear and a lot of it's eugenicist. Yeah, it crosses international borders pretty easily because that's how information travels. One last clip.
Are you also trying to find out how it interacts with people's DNA, what's predisposed to have an autistic child? Are you doing both?
Yeah, but Dana, you probably don't understand this because you're not a scientist, but genes
you're not
don't
either.
Genes don't cause epidemics.
I understand. Genes,
they
epidemics.
can provide a vulnerability.
A gene provides
environmental.
That's what I'm asking. Are you studying the environmental
We're looking
exposure?
at all the different environmental exposures, but your statement, you have been fooled. Your statement that this has been studied is not true. It's categorically not true. Not for any of this stuff.
It is considered
Considered by who?
By every scientist who has studied this.
That is not true. I can give you hundreds of scientists who have looked at this.
So on the one hand, do you understand why people aren't getting...
National Academy of Sciences. What greater authority
do you understand why people are not getting measles vaccines? Because they're hearing you say that it could cause autism.
You're trying to change the subject.
I'm not. It's very much related.
Show me one of the studies that's been done on the first 8 the vaccines during the first 6 months of life. You will not find them. The National Academy of Sciences.
So if that's the case, then why are you telling people to get the measles vaccine?
Because that is one of the vaccines that has been studied.
Okay.
Wait, didn't he just say that it hasn't? What? He's just fucking like, come on, man. Like this guy, he's not even good at lying.
The only one that has been studied.
Do you want people to get the MMR vaccine?
Yeah, I said that already.
Okay, so
I know you're flustered now, and it is.
I'm not flustered at all. I am frustrated.
And honest.
The reason I'm frustrated is because you are the HHS secretary, and you are talking about things that lead to vaccine hesitancy in this country, and it is something that causes problems for people when there is not anything.
Let me ask you something. Do you see your job as ending vaccine hesitancy, or do you see your job as telling the truth to the American people?
I see my job as telling the truth, and the truth is that there is study after study after study. It's one of the most studied things out there in science.
You're repeating
and
it like a parrot. You're repeating it like a parrot. I've actually read the science. Let's you and I come back here and debate the science.
I'm not debating this with you.
Of course you won't.
No, because I'm not debating.
All you know how to do is repeat things that people told you and say, trust the experts. That's what you did during COVID. Now we know that Anthony Fauci, who was the expert, was lying about everything, about masks, about social distancing, about natural immunity, about the transmission from the vaccine, about the source of COVID. He was lying, and you were punishing people for not trusting the experts. And now you're...
Dana Bash was punishing people. He was like freaking out and fucking yelling and pointing his finger at her and being like, you're getting flustered. You're getting flustered. There's a fucking drill tweet for everything, right? It's like, I'm not mad. Don't put in the fucking newspaper that I'm mad. He just did the fucking drill tweet like on fucking CNN for everybody to see. He's like, I could show you hundreds of scientists that say X, Y, and Z. Well, you could just find 100 YouTube people, like 100 people on YouTube with a science degree who are like anti-vaccine fucking like grifters. 100 scientists doesn't mean anything. What do you mean 100 scientists? I could show you hundreds of I could find you hundreds of scientists who like to play basketball. The fuck does that have to do with anything? What do you mean hundreds of scientists? There's peer-reviewed research. There's no evidence that any vaccine is a cause of autism. We don't know for sure, but it seems like it's genetic. It seems like that's the prevailing wisdom among people in the relevant fields. But also here, there's the underlying problem here is that they want to end autism, which, after learning more about this stuff, even my view on this obviously has evolved. Autism, people with autism, they just think a different way than I do. It's just like a different way that your brain works, and it's fine. It's fine. Some of those people have struggles and problems. We all got struggles and problems. At the end of this is just a eugenicist way of thinking, right? They want to eliminate the people with autism. So here we are on the Joe Rogan show, and they're playing the hits. They're just going to play the hits. Here's Tim Robbins, who I hadn't heard much about. I had no idea that this guy's a fucking idiot, but here's Tim Robbins.
That same thing kind of happened. I recognized that same smell when COVID was happening, when people came out and started asking questions and were deplatformed or marginalized or canceled. And, I followed what you were going through with the ivermectin, which was a drug that I had taken, and, I had lost my sense of smell, and a day later it was back.
Okay, so you got like a mild case of COVID, or maybe you didn't even have COVID.
I knew there was something going on with that, and in an emergency, why not find whatever you can treat until your magic potion arrives, It
wasn't just that. No, because that's stupid. You shouldn't, because you shouldn't just be like, I don't know what to give you here. Let's spin the wheel of fucking therapeutics. Fuck no. That's a bad idea.
It was like the completely disingenuous characterization of it as a veterinary drug. And
so the reason that was happening is that doctors, because they didn't want to fucking do it, weren't prescribing people ivermectin because they're like, this doesn't work. I'm not prescribing it to you. People were going there, the doctor trying to get the prescription and refusing the vaccine. And the doctors were like, no, because they're doctors. And then people were going to like the feed shop and getting the horse paste. And then they were following instructions on the internet for how many fucking centimeters on a piece of paper out of the fucking tube of horse paste to take to cure COVID. And so that's why people were like, why are you taking horse paste?
Get horse paste?
Yeah. There were fucking feed stores that took it off the shelves because the people that ran the feed stores were like, well, I don't want to be responsible for this shit, do I?
Or horse dewormer, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy because maybe that would have worked in 1980 when people would have to go to the encyclopedia to find out what ivermectin really was. But when you're trying to do that in 2020, it's just too easy to look up, oh, look, it got a Nobel Prize for use in human beings.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, the people who did the ivermectin people get Nobel Prizes, and it got a Nobel Prize because it all but eradicated river blindness, which is a parasitic infection.
For yellow fever and dengue fever and river blindness, and this has been used billions of times. It's one of the safest. Wait a minute, it's in the World Health Organization's essential medicines list.
Yeah,
this is crazy.
Yeah,
but yet on television, it's horse dewormer.
Right.
And even the Rolling Stone had an article where they showed people waiting in line. They said that people in Oklahoma were waiting in line at the emergency room with gunshot wounds because they couldn't get in there because so many people were overdosing from ivermectin.
Right.
Yeah. Because they were taking the fucking tubes from the feed store and using that. And a horse is a lot bigger than you are. There's a reason when your doctor, if you have a parasitic infection, that ivermectin is the right treatment for. There's a reason they don't send you to the fucking feed store, Joe.
Which is just fake.
Yeah.
And it's in the Rolling Stone, and you're like, what is going on? This is insane. Even the photograph was fake. The photograph showed people wearing winter coats, because really the line was people waiting for a flu shot. That was the actual line.
Right.
And they were trying to say that these are people waiting in line to go to the emergency room.
It was probably from Getty Images, just an image of people waiting in line because they didn't send a photographer out there. Maybe not the best move by Rolling Stone, but I bet the image at the bottom right was like all Getty Images, right?
Shot was like, first of all, how many fucking people are getting shot in Oklahoma? Like, what's going on over there? Are you?
There was some
gunfights in the streets.
Wild stuff going on at the time. You know, the disinformation and
and just orchestrated propaganda, organized, with big money behind it. Wild to watch.
I suspect that whole period of time was another way to divide us, you know, in the larger picture, you know.
Except that most people even begrudgingly put on the mask, fucking stood 6-8 feet away from people at the fucking grocery store, didn't scream at the cashier at the grocery store, and fucking went and got the vaccine. So I don't think it divided us actually in any sort of meaningful way. I think the division happened after, when people kept doing this forever and ever and ever after the worst of it was over, after most people had been vaccinated once, twice, 3 times, and the risk for the vast majority of people of dying from COVID had passed. But these people, they didn't really, you know, what else are they going to talk about? I think these people want another pandemic.
Orchestrated chaos masquerading as a revolution, you know. It's there's been so many of those things over the past 5 years, you know, that have, you know, alliances that you're building, and then all of a sudden there's a new crisis, and now you don't like those people that you were building alliances with, and it's just one after the other. And I ultimately, at the end of the day, I think it's all about division. It's all about dividing us and making us argue with each other, not finding common ground. And that's ultimately the strategy that's been used from time immemorial, you know, for the power to stay in power. How do you get people fighting with each other?
Right. Yeah, people don't like to hear that, but that's a strategy that's been used all throughout history.
Yeah.
And it's a good one.
And it works.
Yeah, but what are you guys doing right now? Right? Like, when people talk about this shit, like, oh, or these people are engaging in divisive rhetoric, almost without fail, the correct question is, well, what are you doing right now? Right? Like, what exactly was that segment doing? It was dividing people, right? It was telling the people in Joe's audience who listened to fucking Joe Rogan and his band of fucking, like, disgraced former fucking medical professionals or whatever, telling them that they were right and the rest of us were wrong. So I don't know, man. I mean, you're not the only one doing it, but you're certainly participating in it, aren't you? Sure grew your audience, didn't it, Joe? All right. So that's our public health segment. Always uplifting, always uplifting. Here's Lauren Boebert, who, I don't know, I guess she's still around. Here she is on One American News Network with Sean Fucked. And she's just going to straight up lie to you about the Bible, which is going to be fun. I'm not even a Bible expert. As people know, I'm not a Christian. I'm not religious. But I know that she's lying. So here we go.
Now, you've spent years holding public worship gatherings in places where faith was supposed to be quiet. What do you believe in this spiritual catalyst for this revival? I don't think Jesus ever called for any Christian to pray only silently or to keep their faith only in the prayer closet.
Right.
Even Sean Fucked is like, wait a minute. look at the look on his face. He's like, I don't like Sean Fucked, but I do believe that he's read the Bible. Right? He's like, wait. Isn't that exactly what he said? Like, isn't that literally exactly what he said? I don't remember the quote. I'm not like a fucking scripture expert, but I can swear to you that that's exactly what he said. These people don't even like Jesus, dude. Fucking the vast majority of people who were like intensely Christian don't even like Jesus. I mean, I don't believe in Jesus, but I don't got a problem with him. Right? Seemed like he said some good things, and he said some wild shit that I think is probably untrue, but even the wild shit that he said that was untrue wasn't particularly harmful most of the time. Hung out with the sick, with the poor, with sex workers, and did kind of tell people like that if when you pray, you know, he said where two or more are gathered or whatever at the church, but also he was basically telling people not to do what Sean Foyt was doing, right? It was basically saying, don't bother somebody walking down the street about this shit. He said, you know, I don't remember what he said, but he's like, you know, do it quietly. He was basically saying, don't bug other people. Like be fucking, just, you know, have some boundaries around this shit with other people. Oh, that's coming up. Somebody in the chat just either looked at the docket or predicted the future. I don't know who Nathaniel Gills is, but I don't think that his claim here is true. He says that the Vatican has sent exorcists to a United States Air Force base, which I don't think is true, probably.
Going back to the Collins Elite, I mean, the document that I'm in possession of, it talks about how that these governmental practitioners, just make up a term there, were contacting the phenomenon to the point where they were becoming possessed by it. Mm-hmm. And the Vatican was sending exorcists to Air Force bases.
When?
Oh my God! I can only imagine.
The other day that what they said exorcisms are up like 400% or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And I just can't imagine that, right? Like you check into work and it's like, all right, let's look at the radar. And this other guy's like, bah. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I can't believe it either.
What's going on?
Seems unbelievable to me.
And they're doing the whole thing. I'd be out. But yeah, they had to have dozens of exorcisms because, so, you know, we don't know what that is. Some people say we're initiated. Well, that was not fun, you know, so I don't know what's going on there, but
well, I don't either.
I think that we're evolving to a place where we're figuring out some things to push the beast back in the darkness with.
I mean, I have some questions here, like when? When did the Vatican send fucking exorcists to a U.S. military base? Listen, I think we would have heard about this. Which military base? When? You know, I'm willing to respect everybody's privacy. I don't need to know the name of the fucking person, like who had the fucking demonic possession or whatever. We get a little bit of information though, like when? Maybe the name of the exorcist? Maybe what military, what Air Force base? How long did they have to stay? Did they eat at the chow hall? Like, did they bless the meal? Did anybody turn water into wine? Did they give communion? Like, what else was going on here? Obviously, this is bullshit. Like, this is bullshit. All right. It's just going to get worse here as we go on the... We're getting to the end, though, because if anybody's watches this show weekly, you know that by the time we get to sort of Christian batshittery or whatever, we're getting close to the end. Here we go. Can Christians watch horror movies? I would say yes. I would say that it's fine. All kinds of people like horror movies, but maybe I'm wrong.
I went through a season of my life where I got a little bit desensitized to horror films. Like I started to compromise, like, oh, I'm just going to watch suspense films. And, you know, this isn't bad because it doesn't have any demonic things in it. I was just praying, asking God to speak to me. And what I really felt him say to me is the goal is to desensitize us and make demonic forces seem entertaining. In 2020, I started watching The Vampire Diaries, and I'd always stop at season 3 because I would feel convicted because there was this one scene that I was...
Convicted? Do you mean conflicted? Why are these people all illiterate? I'm not some fucking smarty pants motherfucker, but I got at least the vocabulary of a smart 9th grader, right? Come on.
like it was okay to do this much, but now this is too far.
Yeah.
Spell would come on the screen or something, I'd feel like a conviction in my heart. Little did I know that all of those years I was actually letting a door into my household for witchcraft to enter and for demonic forces to enter into my house. 2 years later, I saw a TikTok of a writer's assistant on the show The Vampire Diaries and the originals that was laughing and making light about the fact that when she was writing the spells to this show, she actually was looking up real spells on Google, changing a couple of words and putting them into these scripts so bad that the witches in New Orleans actually called her and said, "You are messing with powers you don't even know about. You are unleashing demonic forces."
So everybody here is probably kidding. The person writing this was probably kidding. And the witches, if they called, probably kidding. Actually, witches got it. I don't know if you know this. Witches got a sense of humor about all this stuff. As well they should, because they don't believe in any of this. They don't really believe this stuff, right? Like Wiccans, they don't really believe in witchcraft, most of them.
Into these people's homes.
Most everybody would say, yeah, it's evil, but I'm protected. You're protected when you are following what God says to do. Proverbs 8:13. The fear of the Lord is hatred of evil. Do you actually have the fear of the Lord if you don't hate evil?
Counterpoint, I don't care what religion you are or whatever. If you want to watch a movie and you think it sounds entertaining, check out the movie. If you don't like it, fucking don't watch it again. You'll be fine. You're not going to get possessed. Up next, anti-gay Christian influencer says watching porn makes you trans and gay.
And makes you gay. The studies have shown that. Really? The longer you watch porn, the more likely you are to become homosexual.
Well, because you're doing gay stuff, as you just proved.
Yeah. And studies have shown that
they've not soft. This guy's hard for Jesus.
Because it is such a hardcore drug. You know that porn's a way more hardcore drug than any substance we've ever measured, right? Yeah.
Has this guy ever heard of methamphetamine?
And so because you always need a harder hit, eventually you're watching darker stuff.
A different hit.
Mm-hmm.
You need different.
So it is. You do want to not watch the same pornography over and over again. That is true.
Kids.
Yeah.
And then you're watching tranny porn.
Whoa, dude, calm down.
Showing like the dudes who start watching tranny porn, they start
calm down.
So like porn doesn't make you gay, it also makes you trans. So it's the best way to destroy an entire civilization that doesn't have any of the testicular fortitude or moral muscle or chest left to actually be a threat to evil in the first place.
Wait, everybody watches porn, so why isn't everyone trans? I know like not literally 100% of people watch porn, but like mostly everybody watches porn. So why isn't everybody fucking trans? Like, what the fuck, man? I thought everybody was trans or gay. I don't know. Kurt Cobain thought everybody was gay. Anyway, somebody had mentioned the lady who bothered people on the airplane, and crazy enough, she had written an article in the why was she writing an article in the Washington Post about evangelizing on airplanes? Anyway, friends, I don't like air travel. It's not fun, right? Even if you can afford first class or business class, it's not fun, right? The plane's loud, you're stuck there, you can't leave. Like maybe somebody's farty near you, somebody's kid's crying and shit. So what you should do on the plane is get on the plane. You know, if the person next to you seems friendly and open to it, chat up the person next to you, do so quietly so you're not really bugging anybody else, but otherwise leave people alone. Or I suppose you do this.
Can you tell me what's going on? You can't just tell me to get my stuff and then not tell me what's going on.
Okay, so you just follow your stuff, just follow me.
Huh?
Just pick on your stuff, just follow me.
Okay. You're still not telling me.
Huh?
Still not telling me what's
so the
going
crews
on.
don't feel safe with you.
They don't feel safe?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know the message of Jesus Christ was unsafe. Wow. Do I have any guns or anything like that? No, I don't. So freedom of speech is not safe? So if I said something else, would that be okay? I'll tell you what this is. It's called spiritual warfare, you know?
That's why people don't feel safe.
Humans don't like the name of Jesus.
Yeah, that's why people don't feel safe. They don't want to be on the plane with you. I think they're more worried about I think they're more worried about what somebody else on the plane about to do to you, right? Like, because imagine being on like an 8-hour flight with this lady walking up and down the aisles, fucking yelling about the fucking Lord and shit. Eventually, somebody just going to get up and fucking knock her out. You shouldn't hit people. It's wrong. But somebody's just gonna get sick of it, right? Not today is not the day, right? It'd be some other church lady too, probably doing it.
Yeah, but it's not unsafe to talk about the gospel. I didn't know. Is that a crime? Is it against the law? Can you tell me that? Is it?
Literally, when you buy your plane ticket, you agree to like essentially a terms of service that it probably says things like shut the fuck up, but it says it in like some kind of legalese, right? It says don't disrupt the other passengers on the plane, that kind of stuff. I haven't looked up the terms of service for air travel lately, but I did read like bullet points when I went on the Amtrak up to go see the Media Wench in April. There were bullet points, real quick bullet points, just like don't disturb other passengers, don't make loud noises, just respect the other people on the train. And it also, no guns, no drugs, no alcohol, that kind of stuff. But it was included on the thing for fucking Amtrak. So I'm assuming that when you buy a plane ticket, you also agree not to fuck with other people on the plane.
Is it against the law? Is it against the law? I'm just asking you a question. I'm getting my stuff as I'm talking. So can you answer the question? Is it against the law
I don't need to answer any questions.
to preach the gospel?
I don't need to answer any questions.
You can. You sure can. Yeah. Yeah, you sure can. Wow. Tell you what. Last days, people. Can't talk about Jesus anymore. Yep. That's how you know. That's how you know. There's power in that name. Makes people feel unsafe. That's sad.
I'm surprised nobody on the plane is telling her to shut the fuck up. But maybe the other people on the plane are obeying the rules. And they're like, well, I don't want to make this any worse than it already is. So shout out to the other people on the plane for not making this worse than it already is.
Very sad. Wow. Well, God bless everybody. If you know Jesus today, make him Lord of your life and continue to spread the gospel. We're in the last days. We're being persecuted. Persecuted to be a Christian. It's coming. We're going to go to...
I like that guy with the fucking mask on. He's like, maybe if I put this mask on so I can't see this, it'll go away.
It's coming. It's coming. I am making my way. You see me walking, right? Okay. Thank you so much.
The lady... Oh, that's staff. I thought that was just another passenger. The other lady behind her is like, make your way off the plane.
You don't have to push my bag.
I did it, ma'am. I'm so sorry.
I can't understand what you're saying.
Daddy's following.
Okay. Where are you from? Because I can't really understand you.
Dude, I could... What the fuck?
Can't really understand you. Are you from Puerto Rico? You speak Spanish? Is that your main language? So you're kicking me off the plane for telling people about Jesus. Is that what you're doing? Dude, you need to tell me what's going on. You can't just tell me to get off the plane and not tell me why.
Yeah, they can.
Obviously, that's
you know why. You already know why. You were fucking pissing the other passengers off. Becky.
Everybody.
Becky with the bad take.
This is so good. Wow. What's this?
This call to everybody.
Huh?
This call to everybody.
I can't understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Call to what? No. You're not going to shut the door on me.
Okay,
Now tell me what's going on.
Excuse me.
Shut the door right now so the other people can leave. Dude, shut the door. Shut the door. The plane is probably late. It's probably lost its place in line already. Close the door.
So tell me what's going on. Stop shutting the door on me and explain to me what to do. Don't just hand me a paper. Are you kidding me right now?
Close the door. Close the fucking door.
And you shut the
I don't know. You shouldn't put your hands on people. I say fucking shove this lady and close the door so those other people can get on with their fucking business.
How dare you? Tell me what's going on. I need to call this number and then what?
To get rebooked.
To get rebooked?
Yes.
Okay. And I call it right now. And you guys are going to inform them of what's going on? And what is your name, sir?
Ruben.
Huh?
Ruben.
Ruben. God have mercy on your soul. Because hell's real, my friend.
Yo, friends, just if you're on a plane, a train, a bus, man, don't talk to people if they don't want to talk to you. That's it. It doesn't matter what you're telling them about. It doesn't matter if you're telling them about the Lord Jesus Christ, if you're telling them about your day. Man, those people got fucking somewhere to go, and maybe they don't want to listen to you. It doesn't matter whether you're doing this crazy shit she was doing, or you just sit next to somebody and start talking their ear off about your kids or whatever. Don't do any of that. You're being fucking rude. Leave people alone. You think everybody on that plane is like excited to hear anything? Fuck. All right. Well, here's Kevin O'Leary. We got two more. We got Kevin O'Leary. I hate this guy. What a fucking dipshit, fucking asshole this guy is. Here's him fucking talking about a fucking watch that brings men to tears or whatever. I'm starting to think that like anybody worth more than about $15 million is just a waste of the fucking air that they breathe.
Grown men weep just looking at pictures of this mystical beast. Does it exist? And I got on my knees and begged for it. Begged. I said, could you consider just after all our relationship time together, and I've been a great steward for the brand. I've never sold a Rolex. I've talked about the importance of the brand. Isn't this the moment to consider if the mystical beast exists, that I would have it on my wrist? And then back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The morning here in LA before the Oscars, the phone rings. They gave me an address and they said, be there. And there it was. We opened the box. The entire Rolex staff had never seen it. All the dealers from around LA came to see it. And for an hour, we looked at it. We didn't touch it. We just looked at it and said, like,
it's real.
It's real.
Did you cry?
I did. And I wore it.
Seriously.
I was weeping. It was mine. I own it. I have that piece. Do you know how many people have that piece? Maybe nobody. Like, it's not known.
Counterpoint, fuck you and fuck your watch. Like, fuck this guy, fuck your watch. I don't know, like, with a nice suit, like a nice watch sometimes looks good or whatever, but like, come on, man. Just fuck it. It's just the style. It's okay. I have a friend who, if he goes to something formal, he's got like a nice watch or two that he might wear. I don't think he's buying no fucking Rolex. Right? I got a couple friends that like to have a nice watch. Maybe they'll wear it instead of like cufflinks or whatever. I don't know, man. That's not my thing. But man, fuck this guy and fuck that watch and fuck the fucking dealer that sold it to him and fuck all the other people that went there to look at it for an hour. Fuck all the employees who were fawning over this watch. Fuck everybody involved in this process, actually. Fuck them all. So we're going to end with Clammy Sam Altman. I don't know, man. I don't think, does anybody believe anything that this guy or any of the AI people say anymore? I don't know. Let's see what he has to say here.
What we need to explain to the world. Number one, we are close to creating a genie that can grant any wish. Number two, we are going to make sure that our first wishes broadly benefit humanity and that we kind of get the world to a place where a lot more people get to have a lot more wishes. And number three, the space of what you can wish for is incredibly big and creative, and it'll be quite exciting.
I mean, I have a wish.
Figure that out with real sort of human values and preferences. But I think there's a fourth thing too, which is exactly that. You start making these wishes, the computer grants them, and then you're like, I didn't think that was going to work.
Yeah.
What now? It's a weird feeling.
I bet we all have the same wish right now. I have a wish that involves a trip to the sun. Not for me, but I think we might all have a similar wish about someone or someone's traveling to the sun. This dude who was fucking sucking up all this venture capital money. I ain't in love with venture capital or whatever, but think about like some of the other stuff, like, I don't know, that could have been done with that money. I know the VCs aren't going to build high-speed rail or give everybody health care, but What if they dump that money into, I don't know, making a faster fucking GPU for cheaper, or a new kind of display technology, or I don't know, something for your car, some fucking kind of shit that makes your phone battery last longer. Any number of things here that you could have done with that money that aren't even like public goods or whatever. But instead, they're just sucking up all this money and buying all the fucking RAMs, and that now a fucking laptop that used to be $500 is like $1,200, or it's $700 now and has half as much memory as it used to. But don't worry, we're gonna fucking make a genie, and it's gonna give you whatever you want. Shut the fuck up. No, you're not. This is a genie that gives Sam Altman whatever he wants. And that's the only person that the genie is going to do anything for. Yeah, Michael Richards in chat. I mean, and I was just mentioning things that aren't public good. What about the public good? Think about high-speed rail. Think about all this money they've dumped into this AI and hyperscaling shit. We probably be most of the way done with a pretty okay high-speed rail, like that connects major cities across the country. I don't think we could complete it, but we'd certainly get a good start on it with that money. Pay down the fucking debt or whatever. Not that money is real, but sure, pay down the debt with that money. I don't know. Free existing public transit for everybody. Fucking, I don't know, pay off everybody's mortgage and give people who are renting 2 years of free rent. There's all kind of shit we could do with that money. But instead, this motherfucker is out there telling you that he's making a genie that's just going to like give you whatever you want. Sure, dude. Sure. So anyway, god damn, 2 hours and 15 minutes on the main docket this week. This show was supposed to be an hour, but whatever. The world is getting crazy. During Red Light, we got a Tiny Dancer. Ben does not like the WNBA. We got Alex Jones is against Trump this week, but don't worry, he'll be dick riding Trump next week. We got Little Nicky Fuentes looking for normal people, and then Little Nicky Fuentes showing off some of his merch. It's not a lot of stuff for Red Light, actually, but don't worry, we always find something fucking dumb to watch. So if you're listening on the podcast, if you'd like the Red Light portion, go to eplex.store or patreon.com/echoplex, sign up at the $5 a month level or higher, and that'll be sent to your inbox. I'd say tomorrow morning, but it'd be tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, also it supports this project. If you're watching live, you know the drill. Stick around. This is Boomers by Periscope. I'm going to pour a drink because after that fucking docket, I sure need one. And we'll be back for Red Light.